Mai has gone, and the danger has subsided. Preserving the remaining remnants of Vega serves no purpose now, and Diablo swiftly eliminates them without hesitation. End of world. The resistance against the impending collapse of the world is futile. At this very moment, Vega's physical form is obliterated. However, there's a likelihood that the evil dragon spawn, which vanished alongside Mai, has assumed control of the main body's power, emerging as the true Vega in complete revival. Diablo expresses his disdain with a click of his tongue. It becomes evident that underestimating Testarossa was a mistake. Regardless, Diablo has a change of heart. Let's conclude this. The extent of Vega's evolution through consuming Zelanus remains unknown. The isolation hierarchy still harbors Vega's cells, and if left unattended, they could potentially revive by consuming another creature. What's your point, Dino? No, because... No. The issue is your inability to fulfill the mission due to being sidetracked by trivial emotions. Diablo's tone was icy. Dino acknowledged the accuracy of Diablo's observation. Well, let's at least give it a shot. Keep it low-key at the very least, Benimaru suggested, taking charge of the situation. The team began implementing this plan, and in the midst of their actions, Dino found himself lost in his thoughts. If Mai decides to go through with it, she'll probably be upset, won't she? Mai was an earnest individual who disliked drawing attention to herself. Flashiness wasn't her style. Dino recalled this but chose to suppress his concerns. Benimaru established the escape point using space-time manipulation at the outer edge within the labyrinth. Despite being inside the labyrinth, it earned the title of the outer edge due to its unique characteristic, a space-time gap. Standing at the farthest reaches of the labyrinth were Benimaru, Diablo, Zegion, and Dino. Following Benimaru's proposal, they were preparing to ignite a spectacular firework display. The reason for the limited participation of only these 4 individuals was that the others lacked space-time manipulation, a crucial ability for actions in the future. Zegion, empowered by Zelanus, elevated space-time manipulation into space-time domination. Diablo informed Michael that he would take charge, having already attained space-time domination to surpass Michael's time stop. Benimaru, under Diablo's guidance, rapidly advanced from spatial manipulation to space-time domination. Although newly proficient, even Benimaru had recently mastered the skill, making it understandable that others struggled with it. Pico and Gracia, for instance, possessed only spatial manipulation, complicating their existence in the subspace. The forthcoming space posed significant risks. Prior to tackling their challenging endeavor, Benimaru and his team made a point to restore the labyrinth's functionality. Benimaru and his team were set to attack the abandoned 30th levels to prevent Vega's revival. Despite the presence of the evil dragon spawn with Mai, their actions were primarily a distraction. Ramirez opposed the plan, highlighting the unpredictable risks of subspace, where phase fluctuations and distorted time could lead to unpredictable destinations. She cautioned against the futile survival prospects in such unpredictable places, but chose not to interfere due to the team's determined resolve. Good thing. Make sure to shield yourself with the barrier and safeguard your lifeline. If you get swallowed by subspace, who knows where you'll end up? Dino emphatically acknowledged Ramirez's warning. In reality, Benimaru, Diablo, and Zegion had a link to the Soul Corridor through Rimuru. Among the 4 embarking on the mission, Dino was the sole member without a strong connection to the others. That settles it. Kiko and I will provide support, so don't worry. I was surprised we didn't have a stronger bond. Don't let it bother you. I don't mind. We're friends who trust each other. Things like the Soul Corridor are just oddities. Dino, though slightly saddened, recognized the need to be vigilant in the subspace. With no solid ground, they relied on lifelines, making it a perilous endeavor. Despite the danger, Dino was unusually motivated, preferring not to work but working quickly when necessary. Taking the lead, Dino leaped into the subspace, with Zegion swiftly joining him. Benimaru, being the least experienced, remained closer to the safe zone. Diablo, positioned at the far end, unknowingly assumed the most perilous spot. From Dino's perspective, the arrangement resembled an equilateral triangle, while from the other's viewpoint, it formed a tetrahedron with all 4 at the top. With preparations complete, they were set to perform a ritual the following day, one requiring more than 4 participants. Ramirez suggested proceeding with the ritual despite its dangers, a proposition that Diablo found intriguing, responding with a sinister chuckle. Fufu, it's interesting. Zegion silently concurred, and Benimaru, the one who suggested the ritual, and Dino, who followed suit, eventually agreed. The ritual itself proved to be as perilous as the location itself. Though curious about the unfolding events, the energy to intervene was lacking. Dino chose to focus on the mission. Be cautious, Ramirez conveyed her anxious thoughts. Once everyone was confirmed in position, it was time to commence the task. 2 individuals link points to create a one-dimensional line. With 3 people, a 2-dimensional surface is drawn. Introducing a 4th person transforms it into a 3-dimensional space. Each participant occupies a vertex of the tetrahedron, with the target positioned at the center. In essence, their upcoming task involves utilizing the finalized tetrahedron surrounding the 30th floor of the abandoned labyrinth. Their objective is to collectively direct each enchantment towards the center, resulting in the formation of a spatial magic circle, going beyond a mere stacked magic circle. It's going to possess an unimaginable level of power. Dino swallowed hard. The more I contemplated it, the more I grasped the sheer absurdity of the situation. Initially caught up in the excitement of the tale, Dino's enthusiasm waned as the actual performance approached, and he couldn't help but think, this is a terrible idea. However, to his surprise, the other 3 members, excluding Dino, remained remarkably enthusiastic. Haha, it's been quite a while since I gave it my all. Indeed, I'll use this chance to push my limits. Yes, exactly. My body may be in tatters, but for some reason, I feel up to the challenge. Listening to this exchange through the telepathy net, Dino mused. Firstly, Diablo, don't you dare. Secondly, Zegion, you have no limits. And Benimaru, if your body is in such bad shape, why suggest this in the first place? They must be out of their minds. Dino wanted to shout these thoughts at the top of his lungs, but it was too late to intervene. He believed it would be futile, and if he wasn't adept at it, he'd only worsen the atmosphere. Dino was surprisingly considerate. Thus, the countdown commenced, with Diablo and the other Tempest executives making Dino feel inadequate. You know what to do, Dino. We'll adjust our timing accordingly, Diablo stated, with Benimaru and Zegion expressing no objection. They were confident in synchronizing their timing perfectly, but expecting the same from Dino would be too much. Therefore, the moment Dino unleashed his technique, the 3 followed suit. Dino didn't protest. In fact, he was relieved not to be tasked with the reckless demand of matching the timing on the spot for such a complex ritual technique. I'll give it everything I've got, Dino declared, his determination intensifying. At that instant, Dino's 12 black and white wings, 6 pairs in total, radiated with brilliance. His twin swords, the golden sword Excalibur and the dark silver sword Caliburn, converged with immense power. Fallen Crusade. The white light blade and the black shadow blade elegantly intersected at the center of the tetrahedron, leaving a lingering glow. Simultaneously, all the flowers burst into full bloom at that precise moment. Prominence acceleration. End of the World Requiem. Devastator storm. Benimaru's Prominence acceleration stood out as the most formidable and potent. Diablo's End of the World Requiem represented the pinnacle of illusory elemental catastrophe magic, simulating the world's collapse and inducing localized destruction. It seamlessly combined skill, art, and magic, serving as Diablo's original, most potent, and darkest secret. Zegion's Devastator Storm, also his most potent spell, had undergone a transformation into Dimension Storm by assimilating power bestowed by Zelenus, becoming even more formidable. Zegion's powerful technique, Dimension Storm, had evolved into a more vicious form. Each unleashed their maximum power, with numerous exceptional techniques converging at the tetrahedron's center at precisely the right moment, as if enveloped by Dino's unleashed techniques. In the abandoned labyrinth section, a colorless polar light bloomed, beautifully coloring the subspace. Its beauty was worthy of admiration, yet the concealed power within the light surpassed anything since the universe's creation, unleashing a force of utter disaster. The tetrahedron, constructed to harness this power, was filled with the destructive calamities. Quartet skill, breakdown nostalgia. The combined power of the 4 individuals manifested into the ultimate destruction, unprecedented in its ferocity. Dino, experiencing it up close, couldn't help but feel terrified. I thought attempting it on a whim was too dangerous, Dino remarked later. It marked the birth of a legendary feat of bravery. I'd like to give a big shout out to my top Patreon supporters, Carl Stefan Bernadel, Big Boy J, Cheesebean, Kevin Matthew, Davon, Corrido, Jason Torres, and Edward Balestream. I also want to acknowledge our top commenter of the week. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back with more content soon, so make sure to hit that subscribe button.